Hey. God, it's been so long since I've been on here. I forgot how this all works. Really? I thought I could move my phone horizontally, but I guess not. But what's up, bro? You're literally the first person in here. How's it going? And I appreciate you so much. I really do, because it has been a day. Y'all know this. And I'm saying y'all because I feel like more people are going to come in. But I originally had this scheduled for 8:30, and it's now 9:16. So what's that tell y'all? Hey, Mama Dukes. Mama Dukes is in the building. What's up? It has been a lot going on. I don't even really know where to start. Let me take a sip. I guess I'll just cut right to the chase. My job has been what's been going on. I'll give you that first. It's been a lot I've had to do. And it's just one of those things where I feel like I continue to work for companies that expect so much out of a person that it drives you nuts. So, Ryan, I know I'm calling you. I'm calling you out right now, but I work for a crisis hotline. So I'm often working with people with mental issues. And for anyone that's going to come in later that don't already know, I mean, this is even if you watch the playback of this, because it's going to be on my channel regardless. Like once I push in live recording, y'all be able to watch this in full from start to finish. But for those of y'all that do not know, I work with individuals with mental health issues. I've actually been doing this for some time, well before I even started working on this crisis hotline. I've been working with people with issues. It just went from in person to now I do it remotely. So I'm often talking to people on the phone. Yeah, I'm not giving no names. Yeah, we ain't violating HIPAA. I basically, don't want to lose my job. I mean, even though I'm expressing concerns I might have with my job, it's not going to be to the point where I'm willing to lose my job. So yeah, no names. Thank you, Mama. But it has been a very hectic, I say month or so. It just seems like there's always something. And the thing I struggle with, and it's why today has been such a draining day, is I'm often in, how do I want to explain this? I guess I'm often working these type of jobs where I don't often feel as supported by my leadership. I'm often working with individuals that claim they're leaders, but when push comes to shove, their leadership skills are missing, they're absent. And it's often a lot of times things that could be mitigated if they stepped up and actually actively cared a little bit more about, you know, what I know and ensuring that I know the information necessary to help certain individuals that call us instead of, I deal with individuals and their lack of support. These are people that oftentimes call very frustrated, and it doesn't help when I'm not given the knowledge to help. I can 9 times out of 10 be as supportive as I can, but it's times like this where all you gotta do is tell me what to do. That way, for next time, I'm not going through all the extra strain, if that makes sense. So, it's been a lot of stress, and it sucks when it's a never-ending cycle of the same stuff. And every day that I work, when I go into it very open-minded, I'm, you know, I'm kind of thrown into more mess. It's just that very frustrating feeling of enough is enough. Why is it always something every day? And it has me in a place where I feel like I could be doing something else. I could be doing something that's more fulfilling. I could be doing something that I have control over. So it's just really trying to buy my time, do some other things to see what shakes out here, and hope for the best. But I don't really know what that is going to entail, let alone what it's going to look like. My dream job, honestly, would be to do this all day, every day. Be behind the camera. If you want me to be completely honest, this is what I would like to do all day, every day. But yeah, it's just really exhausting. And I spent some time earlier talking to my boyfriend, who often knows the right things to say. Sometimes it can kind of be a little back and forth on how I feel about that. He's not perfect, no one is. But he definitely had some encouraging and very impactful words earlier, because I just was feeling like I want to get on here and just talk about anything and everything. But I'm definitely in that place where I'm looking at everything I'm doing right now as temporary. And I've often felt like this. It's just where most jobs I have, I don't always feel as supported. I don't feel like it's something that is fulfilling. I oftentimes feel like I'm overworked. I am passed up. I'm just a number. And somebody can make you feel like you're doing everything to help them, but you know, when it's this little thing over here that is such a issue and you gotta address it with me, when at the end of the day it's really not that big of a deal, yeah, that doesn't make me feel like I want to do that. Like I want to stick around and deal with this. You do make great videos and you have a good voice to listen to watching the video or have it in the background. I enjoy your content. I appreciate you, bro. I really do. I'm hoping that I can get back into the swing of this. It's just been where I've been in this place where I don't know what to necessarily talk about, and videos that I have gotten on here and talked about making. I haven't gotten around to doing that because the process of creating a video, editing, uploading, seeing, engagement with it, it's a lot. So I think at the end of the day, I enjoy just hopping on here, speaking my mind, and then hopping off. But with these, they drag out, and people's attention spans these days are not, they're not, they're not long. People have very short attention spans these days. So it's like, take it or leave it. And it is what it is. I mean, the point of the matter is for me to, put out what I can and just be as consistent as I can. But to say that I've been consistent as of late, I have not. And it's mostly because I just don't know what to talk about. But I'm going to have to dig deep and, figure some shit out. But yeah, bro, I really appreciate that. I do. Because I put a lot of time into most of my content on here. I actually do make most of my content by myself when it comes to the YouTube aspect of it. And this is something that I did want to share on here. It's another reason I've not been on here as much. For the past few months, me and a friend, we've actually been focused on a podcast that we've put episodes out for. The name of our podcast, and y'all are hearing it here first if you don't already know. Me and a friend, we have a podcast called Housewives for Dummies, where we basically focus on the Real Housewives franchise, pretty much all the cities. So I've been doing that with him. We've had a bit of a hiatus, but I'm thinking that pretty soon we're going to get back into that. So that's also what I've been doing. I spent a lot of time doing that with him. So it's just balancing that and this going forward, because I just feel like this is just what I need to do. This is my calling, and the main job I have right now. It's not that it's gonna be something I don't do, but I'm thinking, especially within the next couple of years, I'm gonna be focusing more on this because I enjoy doing this. And if it's something I can eventually, make a little coin off of, I plan on doing that. It isn't easy. We're all just numbers on our jobs, but be encouraged. You have a group of people who support you. We're always here for you and with you. See, Mama knows. Mama Williams, she knows. Plus, she ain't gonna let her son just be out here high and dry and struggling and miserable. But she definitely knows. She can vouch when it comes to me having this back and forth sentiment on, these jobs and wanting to do my own thing, be my own boss. I just think, I need to be more active with that. And today definitely showed me that there shouldn't be any more talking. If this is something I want to do and I want to branch off of this and grow from it and, get my numbers up and eventually get some coin from this, then I need to do it, because everybody has a dream, and if you care about your dreams, you will go after your dreams. So it's not that I don't ever see myself, not working with people. I just think I would rather work with people through this, because I can truly be myself within this realm. I just don't like the politics around traditional jobs, and I just have to feel supported. And there's too many chiefs in the village for me to still not feel supported. Hey, Sebastian. Um, are there content jobs out there? I think so, but I like the idea of building my own network from the ground up, building my own platform from the ground up. So, something about YouTube or any platform that allows content creators to get monetized, it, as I say that, allows them to build their platform, sorry, from the ground up, without you having to go through like an interview process or, climb up the ladder traditionally. Yeah, you gotta, in a sense, climb up the ladder and, the ranks on here. I mean, because there are bigger and better content creators on YouTube, than myself, but everyone brings something different to the table. No one's doing the exact same thing. So I like knowing that I have that, on my side. And the rest is just, up to, my consistency and my engagement and the quality of my videos. However, I decide to promote them. I hope that answers that question. But welcome, welcome, Sebastian. Pretty much so far, I'm just talking about, possible transition into doing this long term versus getting up, working a 9 to 5. I mean, I know I'll have to do that a little bit longer. There's no, set time on when I can completely transition over to this, but I just think if this is something I'm often going back to and talking about, I need to, make a living off of, I want to do that. It might not be right away. I might not see immediate results, but I'm willing to put in the work because it's a lot out here. And I don't like to feel discouraged and deterred from anything that I'm telling everyone I'm passionate about. I love working with people. I love helping people, but I need to be able to do it in a setting that I have complete control of. And I just don't feel that way at this present moment. So we're just going to see how things shake out here. But again, I spent a very decent amount of time talking to my boyfriend. My boyfriend knows how I am. He knows what triggers me at the end of the day. He may not immediately follow up with it. He might just let me stew. But that's more so for our sake. But at the end of the day, he knows what I enjoy. He knows what I'm passionate about. And he too is not going to just let me sit out here and struggle and be, miserable. I think you got to drive and take this channel where you want it to go. Absolutely. And I plan on it. And it's something about meeting people on here that just give you more of that motivation that is enough for me to be like, oh yeah, I'm not going nowhere. Yeah, I may have focused on some other things and may not have put out as much content as of late, but one thing about me is I'm working on something. Absolutely. Sometimes we do need to stew. Thank you. You fucking know what's up. Sometimes you need to fucking stew. You do. And I think that's sometimes an issue. It's an issue that me and my boyfriend have sometimes. Just understanding that sometimes you just gotta let me feel how the fuck I wanna feel. Like, it's not that I don't hear you, but goddamn it, just let me just feel how I fucking want to feel. Period. But yeah, I ain't never heard a more truthful statement. Lord. But I will bring up this an interesting take me and my boyfriend had when we were talking earlier. It's just this whole idea that I don't know what it is, but it just feels like certain things in life you just have to be really mindful of. And it starts becoming where your whole reality turns into this like realm where you're just so hyper focused on what people think, and for their comfortability you gotta sometimes hold yourself back or bite your tongue, and I'm just like, I'm not doing that in every aspect of my life. If I have to already do that when it comes to my job, I'm not doing that in other aspects of my life. I don't know if y'all really understand what I'm saying, but the political side of jobs where you got to be one way to give off the certain perception, like you got to have the professionalism. I don't necessarily agree with that carrying over into your personal life because the people around you and their comfortability. Like, why? And that's another reason why, transitioning over to content creation on a more full time basis is for me, because even though, if we're going to use YouTube for example, even though there are things you have to, be mindful of, for example, if I were to create a regular video and then eventually upload it, and y'all might not know this, but a little tidbit about YouTube is the beginning of your videos, like that first, we'll go ahead and say a minute or two. You can't use vulgar language or anything like that, especially if you're at that point where your videos can get monetized. You have to kind of be mindful of your language, because sometimes that can prevent you from getting monetized. Despite that, that's only a small sliver of what I gotta think about when creating content. You hold that up with sometimes being a completely different person. Every day you're on the clock. Who has time for that? And then for it to feel like with certain people, you gotta carry that over into your interactions with them. Like, no. I just rather not do that. And that's how I've been feeling lately too. But let me read some of these comments. It's definitely attainable, especially once you put together a plan of action. I agree with pursuing work that inspires you. Absolutely. I think okay. I did read that. Okay. Ain't nobody got time for that. Exactly. Nobody has time for that. Sorry. Some of the comments, I think they just popped up. So I was just like, oh, thought I already read that. But some of them, I guess I didn't. But yeah, it's just like, I'd rather not do that anymore. And I was telling my boyfriend this, I would rather, work as hard as I need to attain something that is going to be a lot more fulfilling than being stagnant somewhere that is just overly controlled by other people and other things. Like, truth be told, even though this is a crisis hotline I work for, it feels like I'm in a facility seeing people just like I did before I went to the freaking crisis hotline. I can't talk. Sorry. But yeah, it's so asinine the things we have to do sometimes that I'm just like, what is this really serving? And it's this idea that everyone wants to feel like they're running the show, but when it comes down to it, nobody wants to run the show. It's like crickets. When you really need the help and you expect, leadership to step in and assist, crickets. No one is there. No one has anything to say. They can ask a bunch of questions, thinking they're helping, but nothing's, helping. There's no progress. It's a lot of people complaining about what we could do or the things that are going on that obviously are not helping, that aren't making much sense, but nothing else is being done. And I'm just like, make it make sense. I don't know. One way to help is when work is over, don't break it in your personal life. I can't. I cannot. There's no reason for me to, because what goes on at work ain't got nothing to do with what goes on in my personal life. Some people don't understand that, but I've not been the one to where I allow work to consume me so much that it affects my relationships. And these are all types of relationships I have. Can't see myself doing it. Yep, because I'm living my life like it's golden. Living my life like it's golden. Shout out to Jill Scott. Yes. Period. Facts. 100. Yes. Exactly. I don't get paid barely enough to deal with what I have to deal with while I'm there. You think I'm going to deal with that if I'm not there? While I'm not there, essentially? Like after the fact? Nope. Nope. I will say after I got off today, and this was even after the talk with my partner, I took a nice shower, and because I was just feeling so tired, I almost was feeling like, do I want to come on here and share with y'all what's going on? Just essentially just talking it out. I was in that mindset of like, I didn't think that I wanted to do it, but it's one thing about a nice shower, y'all. It really takes all those woes away. It really does. I didn't feel as tired anymore. I think initially I needed to get out what I was feeling with my partner. And as I say that, I don't mean like I was harboring any ill intent or feelings towards him. I just wanted to have an initial conversation with him just about how I was feeling in general. It took me kind of talking about that, and yeah, I was feeling a little drained, but that shower woke me back up. It did. Absolutely. I miss getting on here just talking. And for those of y'all that have watched me for the past 2 years now, y'all, 2 years. Shout out to all 137 of y'all. And I know all 137 of y'all are not in here presently, but y'all could have fallen off. Y'all could have taken back y'all's subscription. And I could have been literally just like 4 of y'all. The 4 of y'all that are in here right now, I could literally just have that many subscribers. But I appreciate that the subscribers I have so far, and it's only up from here, y'all. I appreciate y'all still being here. But yeah, I miss actually being able to talk about anything and everything. But yeah, yep. But Housewives for Dummies, I say check us out. We are on Spotify, so you literally just have to check out Housewives for Dummies, a chaotic podcast. We are very chaotic on there, talking about anything and everything. Housewives, housewives adjacent, mostly housewives. But yeah, I have been doing that with my friend for several months now. He and another friend started it last year, and some things happened, and he asked me and some other friends what we were doing, and I basically told him, look, if you want the help with it, I'm game. So it just kind of went from there. But like I said, we've been on a bit of a hiatus. We had to take some time off because we was doubling up our episodes, and you know that can be a lot. But I feel like we're gonna be coming back at y'all really soon. But check us out. We're on Spotify. Absolutely. Tune in. You will not regret it. Sorry. Make sure I get that out. But anywho, I hate when that happens where you think you're done getting the burp out, and then another one creeps up right behind it. Bear with me. But to answer your question, Ryan, about what video plans I have, I really need to get out and you tell parts of the Fear Street series. It came out about, if not 2 years, almost 2 years ago. There's like three of them, um, essentially three different parts. Well, I had the first two parts for y'all. They're on my channel, but I am still trying to do that third part. So that is literally the next video I will have to give y'all. Um, as long as it took me to make those first two, I'm committed to giving the same amount of dedication for this part, especially since it's been so long. And I know I keep coming on here talking about, yeah, gonna come out with that third part. I might not have actually gotten on camera and said that. I probably told some of y'all, on the side. My partner definitely knows this is something I've been trying to do forever. So he's probably looking at me like, babe, you are not about to come out with no third part. I don't know who the fuck you're fooling. But don't listen to him, y'all. I intend to come out with the third part. So since you asked, that has to be the next video I come out with for sure. So definitely that, and more lives, probably just talking about some stuff going on in entertainment and life and some of these reality shows that I watch. I think when it comes to Housewives, that's more so going to be something I focus on when it comes to the podcast. Not to say that I won't talk about it a little bit on here, since I now do YouTube Shorts. I might use those to talk about housewives, relatable things. Um, because I do think that the podcast does a very good job of really delving into episode per episode. So I think that's gonna be, you know, for that. Um, Me actually being on here, I think I want to switch things up and talk more about like entertainment and movies and real life shit. Because I think over time, you could, focus a little bit more on certain topics. And since me and my friend have this podcast that is housewives adjacent, why not just, you know, spend time talking about housewives on that platform? Yes. And it's funny. Hood Brawl Chronicles and What's Wrong with a Bob, I actually was not, heavily involved with the podcast then. I knew of it, but I was just simply a listener at the time. He and our other friend, my friend that I'm on the podcast with now, he and another one of our friends, they were, the ones that manufactured those particular episodes. Yes, but just because I wasn't involved in that doesn't mean you can't still give it a listen. Because at the end of the day, I'm involved now, and we appreciate all the support nonetheless. But yeah, but yes. I got you hooked on that Fear Street. Absolutely. I've heard that. Um, I've heard that quite often. Um, just by those that have watched it and enjoy how what am I trying to say here? I guess how I carried out those particular recaps of those movies. But yeah, part three is coming. It definitely is. I actually think that will be coming at y'all sooner than y'all think. Speaking of movies, have you seen Barbie or Oppenheimer? I should have known that was coming. I have not watched those yet. I think I'm probably waiting for the hype to go down a little bit before I watch them. I guess at the end of the day, I'm waiting to see when they are on streaming so I can watch them then. It's a lot of hype around them right now. Not that anything's wrong with that. I mean, I've seen plenty of movies where the hype is still very much, through the roof. But I just think for these particular movies, I can wait. I can wait till they go to streaming before I watch them. And I actually feel like that'll be easier. Absolutely. Yeah, I definitely feel like this was needed. I already can't stay too far away from content creation. If I've started these projects, why would I just give up on them? I'm very much always willing to put time and energy in other things that especially promote my well being. It just sucks. knowing that what you've been passionate over for years. I mean, mama, like, I went to school to, you know, get a degree in working with people. And I mean, you could probably even vouch for this too, Ryan. I mean, because we went to school together. Yes, shout out to Ryan. He is not only one of my good friends, but we went to school together and we're in the same fraternity. So yes, I have a fraternity brother up here supporting his bro. I can't thank y'all enough for being on here, tonight with me and just remaining supportive and definitely vouching for the things I'm saying right now. But yeah, just going back to what I went to school for, I went to school to get a degree in helping people. So you can imagine, because if I want to go a little further with it, I graduated undergrad in 2015. So straight out the gate, I started working with people. And if we want to even go even further, my first job was with the YMCA working with small children, basically elementary school children. I was in high school. So you can even use that. It's 2023 now. And if I'm sitting up there saying that this is something I've done for this long and I still have a passion for it, but it's just how things are wired and, just how things are ran that don't necessarily align with me, that's a sucky feeling. Because I pretty much spent all my time doing this and still feel like I'm at square one. I don't know. Yep, absolutely. That's all I can do. Just put in the work, have faith, you know, from the good old man above, for real. Absolutely. He ain't never gonna give me more than I can bear. I know that. Absolutely. I appreciate y'all so much. I do. But yeah, I'm trying to think of some other things I can talk about. I was just waving at my neighbor. Y'all probably like, who you waving at? My neighbor. He just walked by with his dogs. He's probably looking like, what is going on? But in case he did see me wave, that's what I was doing. I appreciate y'all so much. I really do. But are there some other like topics we can like get into? Um, Anything else y'all are interested, in knowing about what's going on my end, what I'm looking forward to? Because we can talk. I love you too, Mama Williams. You always know what to say too. I don't even have to get into it. I get all of my star qualities from my mama, y'all. As she has graced, you know, this good old YouTube scene. Do I have any special talents besides speaking on camera? I like to think that I do. Um, I'm just trying to think a little more outside the box because, so far we've just talked about working with individuals and being a presence on camera. Hmm. I will just say I like to think that I do. Um, you know what? Now that I think about it, I am actually an exceptional writer. I learned that in grad school, actually. Oh, yeah. In case some of you didn't know, yeah, I went to grad school and I got a master's. So that's something else to think about. And during that time, I learned that I have become quite a good writer. So that's something. You can go very far with writing. Yeah, I'm glad you asked that question because I think at the time we were in school together, Ryan, writing wasn't my forte. If we're gonna be all the way honest, college at that point was just there for the experience. I wanted the experience, y'all. Um, which is all the more reason why I ended up joining our good old fraternity. Um, but I quickly learned that in grad school, you know, when given enough time to, you know, focus on what I need to focus on, which at that time it was a lot of writing versus test taking or anything. I felt like undergrad was full of things that I didn't necessarily need. Sure, I needed to complete it to get to that next step, but in grad school, it slowed things down for me. And I quickly learned that I'm actually a very good writer. Yeah, some people would say writing's not for them. Absolutely. I think writing is a bit enjoyable. It depends on what you're writing. I've always been someone that, likes to write whatever comes to mind. It's a little more harder when you're given specific topics, especially if it's topics that you're not interested in, and then you gotta write a paper on that. That I struggle with more, but even through that, I learned that, you know, when given the tools to complete this topic, um, I'm actually pretty good at it. So I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. I don't know. I felt like it was a skill I learned overnight. I don't even know. But a lot of my papers that I submitted in grad school were exceptional. And I wasn't used to that at the time because in undergrad, I mean, I guess the test taken outweighed a lot of the writing, but I don't know. I just felt like in undergrad, I was rushed. In grad school, I was allowed to take my time. And maybe part of that came from it being online, but that was my speed. But it shouldn't really matter because the requirements are still the same at the end of the day. I just think the difference is some people go in person and other people do it online. I don't think it's a major difference. But yeah, I have not written for fun since it's been a while. I think as an adult, I have not. Yes, I can sing very well, but we don't have to go there. Yes, yes. You ain't gonna let me forget that I can sing phenomenally. But I've sung on countless videos. Oh Lord, Jesus. I gave y'all a note earlier with the whole living my life like it's golden by the good, the great Jill Scott. Top 3 artists. Oh Lord, these comments right now. Maybe in a little bit I can sing something else, or I'll sing another. Since I brought up Jill Scott, maybe I'll sing another verse from another song of hers. Top 3 artists. That's hard because I like to think that I don't really have top artists. I have a collective of artists that I enjoy, but Beyonce is definitely one of them. You cannot, you can't go if you're. I'll put it like this: if you are a Beyonce fan and enjoy her music and her profession, her artistry, her performances, you can't not mention her. You cannot not mention her. To be more specific. But next to her, I'm gonna have to think on that some more. I'm definitely gonna have to think on that some more. But definitely Beyonce. Um, hmm. I'm really sitting up here trying to think. I really am. Nobody else is really coming to mind at this very moment. Well, scratch that. When it comes to rappers, I've always been a huge fan of Ludacris, even though he's more into acting these days. But he's one of the top rappers um, or influencers of rap. Yep, Layla Hathaway. Many of y'all probably don't know about her, but she is, and again, shout out to Mama Williams. Her influence, you know, it's there. It runs deep in me. Growing up, if you don't mind me sharing, she listened to a lot of Layla Hathaway. And I'm gonna call you out right now when it comes to singing. She sounds very much like Layla Hathaway. Boom. Now what? uh, when it comes to karaoke, it is definitely Jill Scott's A Long Walk. I don't know if you're familiar with how that goes, but let's take a long walk around the park after dark. Find a spot for us to spark conversations. Pretty much that's how that goes. I would have went further, but I have a tendency of fucking up the lyrics too, so I don't want to embarrass myself by doing that. So that's how you gonna get when it comes to that. But yeah, when it comes to karaoke, I often choose that. I don't know. Maybe we will. Maybe we will have to do a good old duet. We haven't done that before. I'd be down, honestly. I would. That'd be something I can definitely say me and my mama have done. But yes. But yeah, going back to that top artist, I could say Beyonce, Ludacris, and there's somebody else. Somebody within the realm of your Michael Jacksons, your Whitney Houstons, your Shaka Khans, your Princes. You know, I'm thinking that. More so your Michael Jacksons, your Whitney Houstons, like those top two. Mm-hmm. Because they're top two for me. Yes, I have to give a little impromptu and see. Shout out first and foremost to D Movie Man. Because this man has been waiting for me to get back on here, especially alive. And I, would feel bad if I didn't feel like he somewhat influenced me to definitely come back with a live. Yes. But shout out to you. Welcome. You are in the presence of not only one of my fraternity brothers, but my mama. So, yeah. Welcome, welcome. Mr. Big Shot over here doing big things with his channel. I feel like I'm in the presence of greatness. But yeah, had to get on here and talk about some things for sure. But how are you, my guy? How are you? Now I feel like I need a little more drink. I'm empty, but it is what it is. Don't need a drink to have a good time. I am very much enjoying this. I am. This is probably what I needed the most. And it's funny because I usually end up feeling a lot better when I get to create. But it's something about these lives that just hit differently. And it really comes down to I would rather just go live instead of trying to, record, stop, record again, then edit everything. But, I also like the diversity of content that I'm able to create. Like, I feel like my channel can't be my channel if I'm not, having videos that I traditionally record and upload. And then, now that I've included video shorts or YouTube shorts, sorry, just getting on those for that good 1 minute, talking about whatever it is I want to talk about. It's nice that there is different options as far as, you know, delivering content. Like, it's just not cut and dry. Oh, you have to just record and then upload. Maybe back then that's how I used to be, but YouTube has come a very long way. There's diversity and ways to diversify your channel. You should definitely. And see, that's funny you say that, D Movie Man, because I thought you have had lives. But yeah, you, yeah, you definitely got to get on the bandwagon. It took me a little bit to wanna, do a live, but after I did it like once, it literally took me doing it one time. I was like, oh, say less. I will do this often. It's me looking around. Like, is anybody gonna pop up? Anybody else I know? It was a surprise to get the neighbor to do a good drive-by. Granted, he looked like he didn't know what was going on. But now I'm like really looking and seeing, who else is gonna make an appearance? Even if it's for like 2 seconds. I appreciate the shorts as well, but it's a struggle trying to edit my thoughts down to 1 minute. I'm too much of a blabbermouth. Yeah, that's that is the downside to YouTube Shorts. You often feel like I didn't really get to say all that I wanted. That is definitely something that I often have to do a retake or reshoot. I gotta do the good old cut and do it again. But what I was saying earlier in this live was people's attention spans. So if you want to draw an audience that has very, very short attention spans, YouTube Shorts is the way to go. But I completely understand that, my guy. Like, it's completely hard to, dumb down all your thoughts and opinions on whatever topic you choose to 1 minute. And sometimes it feels less than a minute. I'm like, that was not a minute. I was like, I literally feel like I've only been talking like 10 seconds. But my other message went away, but I was saying thank you for all the support. You too, from Be Like Pulling Teeth, but I'm grateful for all the milestones. Have you caught the new RHONY? Yes, I have. Okay, so we can kind of segue into some of those topics. With J to the BTV, BJ to the BTV, if I don't at some point talk a little bit about Housewives, probably not. So I'm glad you asked the question, friend. So yes, I did watch Roni, RHONY, whatever we want to call it these days. I did. But let's backtrack a little bit. I am enjoying this reboot simply because we have been dying for a rebooted cast when it comes to the likes of New York. Now it's kind of opened the door for some of these other cities / franchises to, do something different. Mainly the predominantly white franchises. But New York has been really asking for the longest to diversify their cast. So I not only appreciate that, but I do appreciate these women taking it back to basics. And when I say that, I'm talking about your very stupid arguments. I mean, the first two episodes was literally them arguing about cheese and then who's leaving someone's home late at night. Like it's those stupid arguments that, is old school housewives. So I'm enjoying it. I am. Okay. Uh, I knew what you meant. YouTube can be like pulling teeth. Absolutely. Anything regarding engagement, and which is why and I'm glad I'm bringing this up because for anyone that is watching the playback of this, this is your PSA that if you've gotten this far in the live, watching it as a playback, go ahead and like up this video. See, I need to get back into saying that. It's been so long since I've been on here and had to say that. I don't even say it like I used to. But go ahead and like up this video. Because why have you been here the whole time and not like the video? And while you're at it, if you are someone that is new to my channel and you enjoy this live, subscribe because you're only going to get more going forward, and you can you can go back. You can go back. I didn't know what I was trying to say. You can go back and watch all my other content that I have had on my channel for some time now. I've been on here 2 years, so I'm gonna have 2 years worth of content. So yeah, y'all, like up this video, subscribe to J to the BTV because you won't regret it. Yes. But yeah, making PSAs like that, we have to make those because it is pulling all teeth out of somebody's mouth sometimes when it comes to getting more engagement. But my man, you've hit your mark. You have. So yeah, lucky you. I'm still dead last in the race. It's what it feels like sometimes. Okay, so I just read your last message. Favorite and least favorite out of the New York rebooted cast. Um, hmm. Oh, I don't know. Uh, I don't know if I have a favorite and a least favorite. I don't know if I have one yet. I don't know. They all bring something to the table and they're all likable in their own right. But I can also say that they have the makings to piss me off too. And to answer the second part of your question, I did actually know that she was biracial. Originally, I would not have been able to tell that Brim was biracial, but the more I think about it, the more I see it now. It makes sense. Yeah, and I appreciate that, and that makes me respect you even more. You know how this goes. I think for me, I got the formula down. It's just me being consistent. And since I haven't been as consistent, that has been what has held me back. Um, But throughout this process, for any of us, if you ask us the process and some of the, pitfalls, most of us will say the consistency, having to be consistent. And many times the lack of consistency is what holds us back from growing. Because I can't sit up here and say that my content isn't good. I like to think that I bring something new and fresh overall to the table. It's just constantly putting it out and drawing a certain audience that will increase my numbers. But I definitely appreciate you, friend, for extending um, the opportunity for advice. Absolutely. But I'll ask you this, since you're on here, um, because you think I'm just gonna sit up here and keep answering y'all's questions and not ask my own questions for y'all to answer, and then I just read? No, never. You don't know me that well. You think that I'm just gonna keep answering questions? No, I'm just playing. I really don't mind. I love all of this regardless. But since I did mention, some of the other Housewives franchises, taking a page out of Roni's book and diversifying their cast, what is another city you feel like needs to be next when it comes to specifically diversifying their cast and essentially rebooting their show? I'm gonna ask you that while I read your response to what I mentioned earlier. I haven't written this side completely off yet, but I'm way too claustrophobic to ride with 8+ suitcases and one Uber. She would have had to back up the pickup and then find another ride. Okay, yeah, that was like excessive. It was very excessive. She didn't have to do all that. And yes, because going off of my original comment about all of them have the making a pissing me off side, yes, she fringes on that pissing off with stunts like that, because it's not only extra as fuck for no reason and just showing how vain she is, it also is very inconsiderate. And I don't always appreciate that inconsideration when it comes to these women on these casts, these shows. Because it's just like, you're only going to be in the Hamptons for 3 days. What are you doing? And we have yet to see her, producing any content, because she's a content creator. And it's just like, if you're gonna go that far as to pack, in my opinion, weeks of clothes, can you at least show us the content you plan on producing with these clothes? This weeks long amount of clothes. Otherwise, make it make sense. Like, you're just doing too much. But yes, I wholeheartedly agree with you with that statement. Yeah. What are we doing, Miss Mamas? Like, ma'am, I'm gonna need you to humble yourself. But yeah, overall, I'm enjoying Roni, the new Roni. what makes it even funnier is I feel like because my partner he's watched bits and pieces of the rebooted season, um, and now he's been interested in watching it from the very first season, which shocked me because I didn't think he saw it for Real Housewives of New York City. I knew it came down to him not really caring for them in Orange County. But he was just like, it's just making me to where, and not saying that it necessarily took him watching those, you know, few scenes with me. I mean, otherwise, don't know if that had anything to do with why he decided to go back and watch it from the beginning. But it's interesting to see that, that's what he's doing. But definitely OC. It's more entertaining this season, but I'm over Tamara's antics. You and I both. But I otherwise knew she was gonna come and try to pull the same stunts, hoping for a different response. No, ma'am. There's way more interesting dynamics and diverse women that we could see than a bunch of beach blondes with fake tans. Hello. And I'm even liking that, even though she's not, officially a part of the cast, but them inviting the acting coach to the what was it? It was Heather's event where they started on the boat and then ended up at the restaurant. The black acting coach. It's nice and refreshing to see someone like that that's not necessarily part of the cast and also of color. When we're so used to seeing predominantly white cast members, be part of the scene. That's different. I think we can appreciate that. Otherwise, what are we really tuning into? Tamra? Vicky? Like, I don't want to see the same thing. And I mean, we can really get into it. Tamra, she's no one's friend. I do not care at all for what she is doing towards Jen. And Jen, stand up. Stand up. Like, seriously, like, that would not work for someone like me. That would not at all serve me. If my purpose on the show is to bring, ratings and something different to the table that will, essentially wow, the girls, us fans, allowing someone like Tamrat to throw a napkin in my face would not fly. That bitch wouldn't even have hands to throw anything else after I was done with her. And, we'll still see if I have a spot on that show. But bitch she had the wrong one. But that's otherwise Tamrats. And when I say Tamrat, I hope y'all understand that I'm talking about Tamra. For those of y'all that watch the show, she knows who to do that with. She ain't met her match. But I don't know. what? No. Mm-mm. If we want to go further down the list, eventually all the cities um, that have not had, I guess, more than a year's worth of a break, need to at some point consider a reboot. Facts. Yes, those are probably your top three cities. And that goes along with what I just said. See, I love that. I know where the conversation is going to go. So I like how I'm essentially setting up these further questions, or vice versa. The questions are setting me up to fully expound on what I'm already thinking. Because we got to definitely keep this rolling. I love it. I'm glad you mentioned those three cities because, yes, those would have to be the next three cities that get rebooted. I hate that Atlanta has to be a part of this list, but there's no way, and I think I have explained this before to all the girls that I follow and follow me on social media that I have conversations with when it comes to this. When it comes to Atlanta specifically, I don't understand why people keep wanting to recycle the same old housewives when at this point, these women have spent decades. Because it's been more than one decade at this point. But to finish what I was saying, has spent decades on shows like this, and given the same recycled and very much refurbished storylines, and the fans still want them back. That is something I will never understand. You can't think that you're going to be as interesting as you were when you started now. But let many of these fans just tell you that, oh, the show wouldn't be the show without Mimi, without KK Kim, without Phaedra, without Portia even. Really? We really feel like the show that continues to come on today, can't be great again if those four people, for example, aren't on the show? I'll wait. But yeah, Atlanta at this point is number one on that list. Again, I hate to see it, but the proof is in the pudding. Tamara's doing all this barking and throwing napkins, but was whining and crying when Dorinda gave her the business on the girls' trip. Week. Period. Pretty much. I would agree. It's very sad to see when you spend 3 to 4 years off of your respective franchise and it only takes you being on basically Housewives rehash for you to get back on your respective show, and then you return thinking that the same shit you pulled before you got off the show is gonna fly today. See, it wouldn't have been me. It wouldn't have been me. She really got the right one with Jen when it comes to thinking that that shit was gonna fly, and it did because she has somebody like Jen. You get somebody with a mentality similar to a Kenya. Um, we could throw in Portia, a Candace, um, a fucking Mia. Look, I'm even gonna incorporate the freaking gutter snipes of the franchises in this because at least with those bitches, you know how far they're willing to go, and they ain't just gonna take shit lying down. And it just is what it is. It's very pathetic. But hey, they allow it. I don't know. But definitely, what's your opinion? Which, if we're going off of those three cities, Atlanta, Potomac, and New Jersey, as some of the next rebooted cities out of those three, which do you feel needs to be rebooted first? Because if it's another city, we can go down the list. I can take the time to talk about how, even though I did, talk about Atlanta needing to be next, I could very well, state my reasons why I think after Atlanta, Potomac or Jersey should be next because of boop, boop, boop. This, and that. Reason number one, reason number two, and reason number three. I got the time. uh, mm. And I think personally with me, um, just to add a little bit more context with why I really, you know, stand in what I'm saying is because with these particular cities, they oftentimes hype it up like it's going to be the best season thus far out of its respective franchise, and it does very little to maintain that. So it's just gotten to the point with these particular cities, I'm not getting my hopes up anymore because where they start off very well, they end very poorly. And I, for the life of me, don't understand that. Because I could definitely sit up here and say I don't necessarily agree with, Atlanta, going back to Atlanta, it being the lowest rated season out of all franchises. I think it's a bit exaggerated when it comes to that sentiment. I don't know. I guess I just need to see more evidence regarding that. But it seems to be a little more manufactured than it has in, you know, previous seasons. Definitely Atlanta, the Jersey's recycled drama with Teresa Joe and Melissa is tired and stale. That part. The same nonsense for 12 years. No one is interested anymore at all. I would not lose sleep if they decided that they were not going to continue the show with the likes of Teresa, the likes of Melissa, and the likes of their families. That includes Joe, Louie, Gia, Melania, Gabriella, Adriana, um, Lord, why am I forgetting Joe and Melissa's kids? Um, their kids too. I don't know why I'm blanking on their kids. It's probably because they're not as active as Teresa's daughters. And beautiful girls, absolutely. No, beautiful gowns, gorgeous gowns. I'm not knocking them there, but we're just not invested anymore. That reunion was a shit show. Like, that was probably one of the worst, if not the worst, reunions I've seen to date. And this goes across all the cities. When you just don't feel like you got anywhere, there was no resolution, that is not a good beat to end on. That's just not, in my opinion, a good look. And if that's the case, some people need to get their walking papers. I'm sorry. And it's just gotten to the point where after 12 years, and this is the same outcome that we've seen time and time and time again, yeah. Ain't nobody about to be watching that. What are we doing? Hello? Sorry, I had to really look at this last comment. I don't really know what that last comment means, but welcome. I can tell you this, what cities I'm anticipating returning are Dubai, Miami, yeah. Thought it was another city. But I mean, there is another city that will be coming back very, very soon. But I'm just not going to mention that because it too, you know, overhypes things. And despite the fact that there is a returning OG, I still don't want to get my hopes up because the last season was just trash. And I think with me saying all that, we can essentially pinpoint what franchise I'm talking about. So I would just leave it to Dubai and Miami. Well, I would say this was a time I appreciate all that have joined tonight. I think maybe this would be a good time to wrap things up. I can't really think of anything else we can really dive into, and it's not like, I can't come back on here at another point and we continue these type of conversations. But yeah, it's a wrap when the RHOA OG dinner falls flat. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Um, we can talk about that a little bit, and then I'll go ahead and wrap things up. Um, I think for me personally, I wanted to see Deshaun Snow, who, mind you, I have been secretly rooting for. I was hoping this dinner that took place between the OGs of RHOA would have shown her in a different light. Maybe she could have woken up a little bit. Um, but I think that's what happens when you think. Because she just proved that she's really a side B character. Um, and it doesn't really matter what her status is on the show. And by that, I mean, whether you're an OG or not, that doesn't mean anything if you don't have anything to bring to the table. And once again, that's what happens when you think. You have wishful thoughts. In this case, I had the wishful thought that she was going to kind of, you know, garner a bigger audience, but she continued to just stay flatline and not offer anything. And it's fine. I mean, reality TV isn't for everyone. She proved that. But why bring someone on a show that is known for having some moments and you don't bring anything? I would have rather seen it be two empty chairs instead of one. And that within itself was just like, what are we doing? They could have kept it, honestly. They could have kept that whole scene. Because I'm not interested in the likes of KK Kim. I'm barely interested in Sheree. I think the more I see Sheree on the show, the least interested I am in her whole character, storyline, just her very being. If I had to choose anyone that's likable within this, group of ladies we're talking about, it would be Lisa Wu. But I mean, I just think the ship has sailed. Um, there's just not a whole lot more they need to give to that. Like, they keep trying to breathe life into these women, and just stop doing that. It's not helping at all. But I feel like I've rambled more than I needed to on that alone. She is very much normal. And again, there's nothing wrong with it. I just feel like, why would y'all waste our time bringing somebody that's too normal for the show? And then, you want to force characters like Kim Z on us when she has proven time and time again she's not going to show up and not willing to show up. But every time on fucking Twitter, people are talking about bring back Kim, bring back Nene, bring back Phaedra, bring back Portia. For what? For what? Like, stop breathing life into situations as it pertains to this show that have since been dead. We're obviously not getting Nene back because Nene rammed her entire foot in a situation she's not going to be able to crawl out of. Like, the foot's gone. Nene's walking around here hopping, hobbling, hopping, whatever, on one foot because she rammed it so far up. The point of the matter is, she's not coming back. Kim doesn't need to come back because what does she bring? Phaedra's not coming back because she's going to be on Married to Medicine, and Portia is living in marital bliss. So why do we continue to fight for these particular women to come back on the show? When again, going back to my original point, there's no point in trying to ask for something that is since been recycled and refurbished. Their storylines are done. You can't keep expecting women that have been on this franchise for eons to come back and continue to deliver new content. It doesn't work that way. You have to eventually expand and, refresh. And we're stuck, friend, we're obviously stuck in this period of nostalgia. So anything that gives us just another taste of what was nostalgia, that's essentially the concept of what was and never will be again. Sorry to say it, but until we get out of that mindset, we're going to keep on, going back to what was and how it used to be. Get the fuck over it. It's not going to be what it used to be, and that's okay. That's okay. That's why I'm often willing to give the current cast we have on Atlanta a chance, but if it's come to the point where now we're recycling old beefs and stuff that was talked about 2 to 3 seasons ago, you can keep it. That's where I start looking at the cast as a whole and really start questioning, what are we doing? It's like, I want to be on y'all side, but if this is what y'all have to offer, you might as well reboot the whole cast. It just is what it is. But it is what it is. We'll just have to table this conversation for a future live. People are mad at Bravo and Andy for not getting over what Nene did, and not her for stuffing her foot in her mouth and blacklisting herself and derailing her career. Yeah, stuck that whole foot in her mouth. What I wanted to say earlier is she stuck it so far up Andy's ass that she lost it in the process, but she's still hopping around here like she has a foot to stand on. And she doesn't. Sure, Carlos King himself, however y'all view him, I can take him or leave him. It is what it is. I mean, does he produce good content? Absolutely. I'm not going to knock the man for that, but am I like a major fan? Not necessarily. Is this, when it comes to his interview with Nene, is it a good interview? Yeah, it's content. But her being on his podcast talking about this and that, and what Nene struggles with is delusions of grandeur. Yeah, I said it. She struggles with delusions of grandeur. For those of y'all that did not hear me say that, I said it again. And that is why she will forever be in this place where she is not allowed back on Bravo. Because you can't say things like you understand your status, but then also make statements like, well, the show wouldn't be anything if it wasn't for me, and I don't see how the show is still airing if I'm not on it. Bitch, because you stuck your foot so far up Andy Cohen's ass, and now you don't have a foot to stand on. So get over it. Stop hopping around here acting like you still offer so much. The show has remained on the air without you for how long now? How many seasons now? So this whole idea that you still, have influence on why the show is still the way it is, no, boo-boo, you don't, because you've not been a part of the show for some time now, like half a decade now. Keep it up and it's going to be over a decade, because I don't see you coming back to the show anytime soon. So it's definitely going to be well over a decade. And you're still going to, after another decade, talk about what influence you still, offer the show? Exactly. Exactly. Good luck. I don't know many people that have a job after not only accusing their former boss of doing certain substances. We don't even really got to get into what specifics. I have not known anyone to have kept their job after filing a lawsuit. I've not known anyone that has remained at their job after personally putting, we could say coworkers, we could say, I don't know, since I can't really think of other types of workers in this case, we'll just leave it at coworkers. Putting them in harm's way. I mean, do I really need to go down the list of things Nene has done and still sits to this day on this hours of hers, acting like she's still running the show? The show's nothing really without her. It's her house. Okay, Nene. Whatever you say. Okay. But loves, we could talk about this all night. I am gonna go ahead and get off of here. I love y'all so very much. I actually do really need to go ahead and get off of here because with topics like this, it is nothing for me to get back on here and talk about them some more with hopefully more people in the space that I have created. Again, thank you so much for the support, you all. I love you all. At this rate, and this is for those of y'all that, caught this in the replay cycle. Once I push in record, this, automatically uploads to my channel. So if you're watching it when it's, since been uploaded to my channel, do me a favor and like up this video, subscribe to, J to the BTV. If you feel inclined to leave a comment or two, you're welcome to do that. I appreciate it all. I can't say that enough. But yeah, y'all, this was fun. I definitely will be back on here again. More than likely this week. I just probably need some more topics. But yes, have a good night. Enjoy your night. Be safe out here. I will do the same. Um, yes, I had to definitely make my way back to the good old YouTube, which I have you to thank for that. You were in my mind when I was just like, yeah, let me get on live. Definitely, friend. But yes, y'all. This has been real. I'm getting off of here. I'm signing out. And until next time, I'm your boy J to the B TV. And I forgot how I normally end my video. See, this is another reason why I need to get back on here. Good night, y'all. I'm not gonna hold y'all any longer. Love y'all. Have a safe night. I'm out here. Bye.